everyone. I'm back. I've resolved a few of my problems with the memory on my phone. I'm Zia with Chasing the Moon RV. As I continued across Alberta and then into Saskatchewan and Manitoba, the scenery became very repetitive. And I have to say that by the time I had made it to the border of Ontario, I was really ready to be out of the prairies. It has its own kind of beauty, but I suppose maybe partly because I was by myself, it was just mile after mile of grassland and blue sky and clouds if it wasn't raining. I am now coming to you from about 2 weeks past the time I was in those provinces, and I'm going to try and get caught up and make it more timely now that the issues are resolved, fingers crossed. Although I did drive through some of the major towns across the prairies, I went from Medicine Hat to Swift Current, Saskatchewan, to Moose Jaw. I went to Winnipeg in Manitoba. I didn't actually go into Winnipeg. I bypassed it because I was just ready to get into Ontario by then. But all of those places have things that are worth seeing. Like, for instance, I didn't know that in Saskatchewan there are 2 areas of sand dunes because there used to be an enormous either lake or ocean there. So there are sand dunes and you can hike and do things like that. In Moose Jaw, there are tunnels. They're called the Tunnels of Moose Jaw underneath the city. And they say that Al Capone hid out there. I haven't been doing really any sightseeing because of Charlie. And I'm going to do a video on traveling with pets, and especially a pet that has deficits, which Charlie does. I can't leave Charlie if it's hot somewhere. I can't leave him to go for a hike. Also, I'm getting over a surgery, which I had in February. So mainly it's been driving through places. I was so happy when I reached the Ontario border. I started to notice changes in the terrain. It started to feel a little bit more familiar to me. The trees and the rocks reminded me a little bit more of home. And although there were breezes in the prairies, it wasn't the cool kind of breeze that you get off the ocean or off a large body of water. They were warmer breezes, and I was kind of longing for that. Plus, this trip is mainly, I just have always wanted to get to the Maritimes, and I'm hoping to really slow down there and take a lot more footage when I get to the Maritimes. We're in Saskatchewan now. We have crossed into the 3rd province in Canada. Once again, just amazing wide open spaces. I've never seen such endless horizons, and the clouds are fabulous. Charlie and I are in Swift Current, and we stayed last night in this casino parking lot. I haven't been inside the casino. It's not really my thing. This is Central Avenue in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. This is their main downtown core. I'm trying to make a habit of coming off the highway when I see that I've entered city boundaries. Unless you come off and go into the oldest part of the city, which has probably been here for a long time, you really don't get a sense of the place. That's where we stayed for 2 nights, the Living Sky Casino. This is where Charlie and I spent the night last night when we arrived in Moose Jaw. It's a nice little park. It was recommended on the iOverlander app as a nice quiet place to stay. But I just noticed going out for a walk, I even thought about staying again another night, but now that I've seen that sign, I certainly don't want to push my luck. So I think we will be heading on to Regina. Sunshine. We are on our way to Regina, Saskatchewan, which is the capital for those of you that aren't from Canada. I'm also hoping when I'm in Regina to get Charlie groomed. On the days when the sun is out, it's getting to be quite humid and warm, and I think he needs a summer haircut. Charlie and I have just arrived at our third Harvest Host stop, Cedar Creek Gardens. They have a wonderful gift shop inside. I may do a little bit of damage in there. Sunset on the prairies just outside of Regina. Hello. You coming to see me? You're so pretty. I don't have anything for you though. Eh? You are lovely. It's a rather nice way to enter the city. I don't know if that was just for Canada Day a few days ago or whether that bridge is always like that. There's some lovely heritage houses in this area too, which remind me a fair bit of the Shaughnessy area in Vancouver. That was another train. I should have been counting how many I've come across just coming across the prairies here. Trying my best to keep Charlie cool on a hot summer afternoon. It's chilling out on a face cloth that has been soaked in water. He does not like the heat, even though there's a breeze here in coming through the van. It's not the sea breezes that we're used to, that cooling sea breeze. He's not a happy camper today. Anyway, I think the face cloth is really helping cool him down. He's not panting. Oh, you getting your appetite back now? Good boy. Hey? Getting your appetite back? I am halfway across Canada. I just passed, too bad I didn't have my camera on again, but there was a booth with all the red and white Canadian flags, maple leaf sonnets, and center of Canada. So I'm halfway. Yay me! We're getting closer to Ontario. You can see how the terrain is lot of birch trees now. Can't see the horizon anymore. I'm excited. The closer I get to the Maritimes, the more excited I'm becoming. I know I've got a long way to go yet, but I'm going to push it for the next few days. We have been on the road for exactly a month now. It's been quite an experience. There have been days that were filled with just joy and wonder. I didn't express fully how I felt about being in the Rockies up at Lake Louise and Lake Moraine. It was unbelievable with those huge shards of granite coming up out of the ground and surrounding me. I grew up in British Columbia. The Rockies separate my province from the next. I've seen many, many pictures of the Rockies, but nothing I've ever seen did it justice. If you have never been and you have the chance to go, please go, because it is an amazing, amazing sight. Okay, I want this channel to be a true reflection of what it's like to travel as a senior solo woman in a camper van. And the first 3.5 weeks were really quite wonderful. I saw some amazing sights. I met some wonderful people. The last week and a half have not been the best. Today I'm in Kenora, Ontario. I'm waiting for a massive thunderstorm. The rain has just started. It's only 23 degrees out, but 30 with the Humidex and 90% humidity. This van only has air conditioning when the engine's running. I have some fans and a little blast chiller and the windows open, and most of them have screens on, which you need because there are mosquitoes and flies. I'm really worried about Charlie. This is the second day that he hasn't eaten. I thought that it was probably just because he was too hot, and sometimes when you're hot you're just not very hungry. But he didn't even want his treats, and I'm having to spoon feed him water because he is one of those breeds that just doesn't drink water. And the only water that he tends to get is in his rehydrated raw food. And since he hasn't eaten for a day and a half now, it's requiring me to spoon feed him water. Today, though, he's very lethargic, and I'm getting worried. Last week I was in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and the problem that I had with being in those two provinces was that most of the places that I stayed didn't have any shade. There's no trees in the prairies. So I always need to find a place that has a nice big tree that offers a lot of shade so that we can stay cool in the van. There are no trees. So that was a problem. So it's been raining a lot, and when it's not been raining, it's just been too hot because there was nowhere comfortable for me to be with Charlie. The roads in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, including the highways, are very rough. Charlie's not a good traveler anyway, but whenever I hit a pothole or just a ridged area of the highway, or go over the many railroad tracks, it would startle him. And I don't know, but I think maybe he's depressed. What do you do with a depressed dog when you're more than halfway across Canada and away from your home? So this afternoon, or actually it's not afternoon, it's still morning. It feels like it should be midnight already. Oh my gosh. I know it's going to get better again. I know this is just one of those little stretches where I'm going to have some down moments, but I'm sitting here and thinking, what am I going to do? Do I make a run for the Maritimes to those cooler sea breezes and get away from the humidity of Ontario, and I would imagine Quebec as well? That's going to be at least would be a full day and a half of nonstop driving. Do I stay here in this overnight parking lot in Kenora, Ontario? Do I try and find a campsite for a couple of nights? I don't know. Stay tuned and you'll find out what we ended up doing. And I'll keep you updated on Charlie. So as I said in that last clip, stay tuned and see what happened. Just a little update that Charlie is okay. I would love it if you have been watching, if you would subscribe. Nothing required on your part. It doesn't, just let you know when there's another video if you subscribe. So give me a thumbs up if you like it, and hit the bell if you want to be notified when the next video is up. And as always, wherever you are, whether it be morning, afternoon, or evening, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Bye-bye for now.